Looking for something awesome to watch on Amazon Prime Video? From action-packed thrillers to laugh-out-loud comedies, these are the 9 best shows you can stream right now. Based on Robert Coker's book Lost Girls, an unsolved American mystery, Lost Girls is set on the South Shore barrier islands of Long Island and follows the investigation of the murders of young sex workers fronted by activist Mari Gilbert Amy Ryan. A selection at the 2020 considering it is based on a true story. As the film progresses, tears will flow, with the climax of Lost Girls ready to live long in your mind, far beyond. Lost Girls 2020. Based on Robert Coker's book Lost Girls, an unsolved American mystery, Lost Girls is set on the South Shore barrier islands of Long Island and follows the investigation into the murders of young sex workers fronted by activist Mari Gilbert Amy Ryan. A selection at the 2020 considering it is based on a true story. As the film progresses, tears will flow, with the climax of Lost Girls ready to live long in your mind, far beyond. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. 2022. Writer and director Ryan Johnson Poker Face brings us another entry in his Agatha Christie-style Knives Out mystery series starring Daniel Craig. No Time to Die as the eccentric Southern detective. Like the first film, Glass Onion features tech billionaire hosting the annual gathering of his inner circle. The suspect list includes the talents of Catherine Hahn, Agatha All Along, Leslie Odom, J.R.B. Central Park, and Edward Norton, Asteroid City, to name a few, but the standout role in the film is played by Janelle Monáe. Excitement of piecing together the case. This spectacular follow-up to Johnson's first foray into the detective genre is a brilliant display. Enola Holmes 2020. Based on the novel series by Nancy Springer, Enola Holmes follows Millie Bobby Brown's Stranger Things as the youngest sibling of the famous Sherlock Holmes Henry Cavill, who strikes out to solve a wonderfully intricate mystery. The film is a delightful coming-of-age story that explores Victorian-era London through a lens that the original Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories never could. That of a precocious young woman fighting against the patriarchal young teen learning to navigate the world on her own as she forges a new path forward. It's a performance that quickly and enthusiastically. Enola Holmes 2020. Based on the novel series by Nancy Springer, Enola Holmes follows Millie Bobby Brown's Stranger Things as the youngest sibling of the famous Sherlock Holmes Henry Cavill, who strikes out to solve a mystery of her own, the case of her missing mother. Enola Holmes 2, 2022. Enola Holmes 2 goes off book, placing the Nancy Springer character not in an adaptation of the novels, but in a real event in London's history, the 1880s matchgirl strike. Millie Bobby Brown damsel reprises her role as the titular fourth wall-breaking teen detective, and this time, she's teaming Factory. Brown and Cavill are a perfect match in this film, their on-screen dynamics matching their off-screen statuses, as the story balances the flexible eagerness of Enola's fledgling detective agency with Sherlock measured, but often rigid thinking from years of atmosphere that keeps the viewer on edge throughout. Bale's detective Lander feels like a Sherlock archetype with a bit more bite, especially as he bounces off his designated Watson, Harry Melling the Old Guard, who takes on the role of a young Edgar Allan Poe. This film has all the tenets of a classic mystery film, but 7 Women and a Murder 2021. Italian director Alessandro Genovese, My Big Gay Italian Wedding presents a remake of the timeless French comedic mystery, Women, that is bright, quick-witted, and fun. 7 Women and a Murder follows a group of family members and mansion servants who find themselves trapped in a house after the patriarch. But instead of a quirky detective mucking about, you have a free-for-all suspicion fest between the ladies as they try to find the murderer without being next on the list. Not to bring the Dubs vs. Subs argument into this article, but I would recommend watching in the A Simple Favor 2018. Comedy director Paul Feig Bridesmaids steps into the shadows of his mind to deliver a dark thriller starring Anna Kendrick Ellis, Darling, and Blake Lively Gossip Girl that has enough twists and turns it could flip a car. A Simple Favor features Kendrick as a mommy blogger trying to track down an alluring woman she Jessica Scharzer novel while expertly utilizing Feig's charming style of directing character interactions. It's a perfect combination that plays well on screen as the audience has to get attached to Kendrick and Lively's characters pretty quickly. Disappearance at Clifton Hill 2019. Disappearance at Clifton Hill is an award-nominated thriller that uses the citizen sleuth trope to keep the viewer on the edge of their seat. The film captures a noir vibe as it follows a young woman, played by Tuppence Middleton, who returns to her Canadian hometown, uncover clues about a kidnapping she witnessed as a child that spurs her to try uncovering the truth about this traumatizing incident. Director Albert Shin creates a delightfully dark atmosphere with unsettling symbolism scattered throughout. The story doesn't hold your hand throughout the Murder Mystery 2019. Now, let's do a silly one. Comedian Adam Sandler Uncut Gems once again teams up with Jennifer Aniston The Morning Show for the first time since Just Go With It, and they are electric together as they play a married couple in a rut that gets framed for a murder. Murder Mystery lampoons the classic tropes of the genre: dangerous car chases, gunshots, and running from the heat of the law. But they're not the only hotties in this film. The supporting cast is also fire. They're surrounded by talents like Luke Evans' Fast and Furious 6,